Before starting to deal with the features of the operation of Dongfeng, one clarification is required. The fact is that Dongfeng Motors Company, abbreviated as DFMC, is one of the largest in China. It has several automobile factories at its disposal, including those manufacturing heavy trucks. To avoid confusion, I'll make a reservation. We are now considering only the experience of operating trucks assembled at the Dongfeng Motor Company Limited, DFL, planned in Xinjiang and delivered to our country through the official distributor, the Euro company Integra. We have to admit that Chinese cars, even of the same brand and model, but exported under different contracts, may differ significantly both in terms of equipment and technical characteristics, and such reservations are simply necessary. The biggest problem with Dongfeng trucks is poor electrical wiring. Many repairmen are generally perplexed what it is made of. It seems that there is not a single gram of metal in it. It is clear that this is done out of economy, but this economy in our conditions turns into big losses. Cars constantly fail various small parts, relays, terminals, connectors, marker, and tail lights. The matter is complicated by the fact that all the wiring in the car is laid in plastic corrugations, cut from above for ease of installation. As a result, water and dirt easily get inside and stay there all the time. At the same time, poor quality wiring rots and falls apart in a record short time. The same applies to electrical connectors lugs. They are leaky and moisture constantly accumulates in them. It comes to curiosities. It is necessary to regularly drain water from the corrugations and connectors. So far, the operators are struggling with this in the following way. Even before the start of operation, they pump the connectors and corrugations with solid oil. The second important problem is the insufficient number of attachment points for the engine mounts. There were times when, with the sharp increase in power, a huge torque tore the motor off the supports. At the moment, the defect has been eliminated by installing new cushions of a modified design, but there are still cars with old rubber parts on sale. Due to an unsuccessful design, the outboard bearing of the intermediate support of the cardan shaft constantly fails. It is squeezed out of the saddle or torn from the place of attachment. The consequences of such a break can be very destructive, so the operators learn to eliminate this defect in advance. They scald the bearing with reinforcing plates. But even after that, the node requires constant monitoring, at least every 10,000 kilometers. One way to prolong its life is to constantly lubricate and also remove dirt. In general, Dongfeng's weaknesses are already well known. Many problems are eliminated in advance, even before the start of operation. So, experienced Dongfeng owners recommend immediately replacing tires, Chinese of poor quality, and wheel rims. Drivers have problems with their overboarding. With minor modifications, Kamaz wheels and tires are suitable for the car. It is advisable to immediately redo the method of attaching the awning to the dump body with its complete replacement. The regular canopy is stretched on metal cables, which often break when loaded by an excavator, and the material from which it is made is short-lived. Body bumpers, gas tank, and rear fenders require additional reinforcement. Due to the strong vibration of the latter, the rear light bulbs constantly fail. There are no frankly defective Chinese cars, hackily assembled, in Russia, but there have been cases of low-quality components being used on cars. First of all, this applies to rubber products, which leads to oil leakage from the body lift hydraulic system or power steering. There were cases of rapid delamination of rubber gaskets. For fasteners, soft metal is sometimes used. The wheel studs can withstand 5 to 6 screw nuts at most, and after that they are eaten. The Chinese side reacts calmly to this use, they say, a torque wrench. Russian sellers approached this issue from the other side. They ordered better studs in their native fatherland and now offered them as spare parts. A similar story happened with the brake pads. They also had to be urgently ordered in Yaroslavl, as the quality of the original ones left much to be desired. There are funny defects associated with inattentive assembly. So, on some cars on the kilometer speedometer there was a gear from a similar one in miles. The distributor had to replace this gear for everyone who applied with such a malfunction. Based on the foregoing, several conclusions can be drawn. First, Chinese trucks are not of perfect quality. They annoy the owners with frequent small malfunctions, which, however, are easily fixed. More serious problems, as a rule, are not related to the quality of equipment, but to its improper operation, read, overload. But even in this case, the main units, the engine, axles, and gearbox behave adequately. The first Dongfeng cars sold, even with overload, have already rolled over 100,000 kilometers. Second, a civilized service and spare parts supply are gradually emerging. The transitional period, when the cars were delivered and the service was not really organized at Dongfeng dealers, has already passed. Now the task of the carrier is not to confuse the official service with a workshop that is ready to provide repair services. In the latter case, savings on service costs can result in long machine downtime waiting for parts, while branded services have more options to solve the client's problem, for example, using spare parts from a donor car. Third, the situation with Dongfeng trucks could change dramatically. In April, another distributor of this brand, Dongfeng Comtrans Rus, will enter the market. He will offer equipment specially prepared for Russian conditions, and many of the problems faced by the first owners of Dongfeng will go into oblivion. However, this is an occasion to talk again about trucks from Xinjiang. In the meantime, it remains to state the fact that if there is an official Dongfeng dealer near you, who is ready to solve all possible problems with the operation of the sold equipment together with you, then it is probably worth taking a chance and purchasing a Chinese truck of this brand. Otherwise, it's best to hold off for now.